Hello and welcome back. A couple of weeks ago, one of my most enthusiastic subscribers, Camera Girl for AG Dolls, asked me to do a video about my Trollope collection because I have probably spent a couple of videos at this point giving my opinions of various Anthony Trollope works. And I took stock of my collection, and I have a huge stack of editions that look like this, with the orange cover, that I got from the book thing a couple of weeks ago and included in my book haul. So I'm not going to include that huge stack in this particular video just because I haven't gotten a chance to read any of them yet, and I don't really know much about any of those particular titles other than that they're by Trollope and I like Trollope, so I got them all. So if you're interested in seeing that part of the collection, I would suggest you just watch my second book haul, and they're all in there. And now, on to the rest of my Trollope collection, and thank you very much, Camera Girl for AG Dolls, for requesting this video. I'm going to start with the ones I've read, and this is The Way We Live Now, which is the first Trollope I've ever read. And this one is great, and I highly recommend it for starting out because even though, as you can see, it's kind of a substantial investment of your time, it's a standalone. So that means, you invest that amount of time, but you're not left at the end wondering what's going to happen and needing to read another 800, 900 page book to find out. And it's really good. It's about political and business skullduggery in the 19th century. And there was a pretty good Masterpiece Theater adaptation made of it. And I remembered that adaptation came out in, I think, 2000, 2001, when the Enron scandal was going on, which I just realized maybe some of my viewers are not old enough to remember that, but it was a big corporate scandal with a lot of malfeasance going on. And so people were joking, well, the way we live now, maybe this was the way we live now in the 19th century, but also in the 20th and 21st. And now I'm going to move on to the Barchester Chronicles, which is the other group of Trollope books I've read. This is a 6-book series, and it starts with The Warden. And those of you who have seen my prior videos where I've talked about Trollope know that I do not like this book at all. As you can see, it's really short, and so that encourages people who are new to Trollope to start with this one. But it is just, it's so boring. It's short, but it's really, really boring. And I would honestly recommend, if you're going to do this series, just not even to bother with this one. But you're not going to listen to me because it's a series. Why would you not read the first book? So if you're going to read this, just bear in mind that the series just improves vastly after you get past this one. And the second one in the series is Barchester Towers, and then Dr. Thorne, and Framley Parsonage, The Small House at Allington. This is probably, I really love Barchester Towers, so this is maybe my second favorite in the series. I thought this one was really good, and this is when a love triangle develops that is not brought to conclusion until the last Chronicle of Barset. And this one, unfortunately, this is Trollope's series where the books get longer and longer. In the Palliser novels, they actually get a little bit shorter as you go on. But this one, this last book, is 900 some pages long, and this one is a little bit boring too. It's about a minister who is too proud to defend himself when he's accused of stealing a check. So all these bad things befall him, and you just kind of feel like shaking him, and it just goes on and on. But it does wrap up a lot of the plot threads, so I would still recommend reading it and just realizing that there are going to be parts where you're going to be bored. And I really admired the way Trollope resolved this love triangle. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I think especially for when he was writing, it was kind of a brave and interesting way to resolve it. So those are the ones I've read, and now I'm going to move on to the ones I have yet to read, excluding the big stack of orange ones that I have in my second book haul. Here I have Anthony Trollope, The Complete Shorter Fiction. As you can see, he wrote a lot of shorter fiction, and I was pleased to realize that in my second haul a lot of the Trollope books I picked up were short story collections. And then I realized, wait a second, I have the complete shorter fiction. I don't need all these story collections. So I was able to take some of those back and save some space, which was great. Because as you can see from this, Trollope can take up a lot of space. And then I also have He Knew He Was Right. This is one of Trollope's more famous non-series works, possibly because there was a Masterpiece Theatre adaptation of it pretty recently, which I have not seen. This is about a jealous husband whose wife is perfectly virtuous, perfectly faithful to him, but he is absolutely convinced that she is not, and it's about the consequences of his jealousy. And this is one of those great older Oxford World Classics editions that has the cool little picture on the spine. I love those. And then I have Lady Anna. I picked this up when I was working in a bookstore, and sometimes we get damaged books, and often instead of having us send them back, the publisher would just say, you can keep them, just don't sell them. And this one has just kind of a crease in the cover, but that meant I got it for free. And then I have Miss Mackenzie, another one of the orange ones that I picked up, I guess, on an earlier visit to the book thing. And I keep saying the orange ones. This is the Penguin Trollope, some of which is now out of print, which is sad. And then I got this nice edition of Orley Farm. And this little blue edition of The Vicar of Bullhampton. And I know I have another novel of his called Sir Harry Heathcote of Gangoil, which is, I believe, in this same edition. And I just, for the moment, cannot for the life of me find it. So I'm just going to hold this up again and say that this is Sir Harry Heathcote of Gangoil. And now we are on to Trollope's other series of novels, which is the Palliser novels. These are pretty famous because they were adapted into a television series for PBS. Don't remember exactly when. I know they were airing reruns in the 90s, but they might have aired in the 70s, or I'm not sure. And of course they're also famous because they're highly regarded, but that's sort of the reason in the current popular imagination a lot of people know them. The first book in the series is Can You Forgive Her, which also happens to be the title of a Great Pet Shop Boys song, which is the first track on their album, Very. And this is the series where the novels actually get a little bit shorter. So as you can see, you start with this huge, chunky novel. And then we get Phineas Finn, The Eustace Diamonds. I think this is one that is supposed to be the best of the series, and it's also one of Trollope's most highly regarded novels. Phineas Redux, The Prime Minister, and then the last one is The Duke's Children, which, as you can see, they really have gotten a little bit shorter by the end. Now, when you're reading Trollope, there are a lot of political references, ecclesiastical references, there's a lot of political intrigue, church intrigue, all kinds of things going on. And some people say that you really need to have a background in that to appreciate Trollope. I honestly don't think so. The Barchester novels are ones where there's a lot of church drama and church politics going on, and there are all the different ranks and various intrigues. But I really found that as I was reading them, I just sort of picked up on what I needed to know. But if you don't like doing that, and you'd like to really have a good idea of what all these different terms mean before you start reading, I would highly recommend this book, An Incomplete Education, edited by Judy Jones and William Wilson. This contains information about all kinds of things. It has geography, economics, politics, literature, film. It's a great little reference book, or not so little, as you can see. But it has a whole chapter on British literature and has all kinds of information about church ranks, political ranks, the nobility, currency, drinks, carriages, what all those landscape terms mean. So if you'd like to brush up a little bit before you get started on Trollope, I highly recommend this. And if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me for my next video.